What's going on, fam? What are we doing here? If I sound like a chipmunk, please let me know, because I don't know. I won't know if you don't know. All right? So please let me know. Alvin and the Chipmunks, if that's what we're hearing. Please let me know. I'm trying to figure out everything. I'm playing tech up in this thing. I'm doing everything. It's a one-woman show, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can hear me, put a yes in the chat. Yes, Yvette. We hear you all right. Put a yes in the chat. I know my stuff be delayed as a... Woo-wee. Who would be delayed? Okay, thank you. Somebody said you good. I sure do appreciate you. No fear, OCDC. I sure do appreciate you. Listen, I'm not going to take up too much of your time tonight. Too much. And I know sometimes when I say that I lie, but I'm not going to lie tonight. So get your libations. Get whatever you need. Please hit that like button. It helps the channel. Costs you absolutely no monies. No monies at all does it cost you to hit that like button, to subscribe, to check and make sure if you have already subscribed, to check and make sure that your subscription is still, that you still get notifications and stuff. Because we know how that goes. If you get notifications one day and the next day everything messes up. Just like one day everything sounds great, the next day that sounds just like Alvin and the Chipmunks. We know how that goes. So please just make sure that you do that for me. Take care of that. I would appreciate it. I would be forever in your debt. So listen, let's get down to it. Let's get down to the brass tacks of the thing. We had an election today, didn't we? Those of you who pay attention to politics and don't just complain about it, that is my people. We pay attention to stuff. We don't just talk about stuff. We be about it. We don't just sit around and they sure do get on my nerves and I sure don't like them and I ain't gonna... What you gonna do about it? Nothing. I'm just gonna sit here and talk because I feel tough when I talk. That's not what we do. We do political education, all that kind of stuff. That's what we do around here. We do stuff. We work. We ain't like them other people. We don't play games. We go to work. So let's talk about what that looked like today. And I just want to make a case because there's a couple of things going on. One thing, we got to have disaggregation. And we're going to get to that. There's another thing too. There's some shapeshifterism going on in this politics. Now we're talking about, for those of you who had a busy day and you might not have seen it. I know some of we work jobs and stuff too. You know, this is Adolph's life. So just let us update you about everything that's just kind of been happening, right? So there was an election. Let me see if I can find a perfect picture. There was a Virginia election, gubernatorial. Now let me frame it. You know how I like to. Let me just frame this for you. Let's talk about who came out for this election. You know, the campaign and stuff like that. Y'all know what I mean. People came out. It was a big election. Big election. People came out. Obama came out and said that the GOP was mean. He came out in favor of McCullough. Now I want to say I was at the DNC at the time that McCullough was there. Got nothing good to say about the man. I just want to put that out there. But Obama was out there. And right, everything that we hear says Obama is supposed to be able to bring out the Negroes and bring out everybody. But all the Negroes ain't the same. And we don't know who came out. And then y'all didn't give us nothing to vote for. What we going to go out for? Do y'all remember a time when, like, the president was supposed to have coattails? So the president would have coattails and he would say, I'm doing this. And then everybody would say, well, we going to get out there with him because we want that thing that he doing to work. So we're going to get out there and vote for this person over here because they going to make sure that the thing up there, the governor, the money come down and it's going to be good. Biden ain't have no coattails. Biden out here falling asleep. What he fell asleep in the last time? What was it? Somebody tell me. He fell asleep in the doggone, what was it, the climate meeting he was at or something? He was just sitting there like, You know how you tap your feet to keep yourself away? You too old. Jim Crow Joe, you too old. But wait a minute, Obama came out. It wasn't the only one. Who else came out? The stars. Right? What's the child's name? Kamala Harris, Vice President, she came out. They all came out. They was going to save Terry McCullough because they supposed to be the stars. Kamala, what's the child's name? Obama. These are the stars of the party right now. Don't nobody care about them people. Don't nobody care. Child, don't nobody care about these people no more. And if there was ever an election to make it be known, let it be known that we don't care about them no more, it was this one. They came out. They came out, showed up, and didn't nobody care. Now I'm just saying that don't mean that the quote unquote black vote didn't go for Terry McCullough, but you didn't get out what you did. You didn't turn red states blue like you used to. Child, go away. Kamala just got there and they were still like, child, go away. So those of you who believe, let me tell you what part of what this means. Those of you who believe that Kamala can drive out the black vote, if she runs for president, and she gonna have to, because Biden, he just be asleep all the time. Every time you see him, he nodding off. Every time you see me, no. So she gonna have to run, but you can't run because you can't turn out the black vote. That's what it says to me. They came out, but not enough numbers. The white vote really came out, and we got, listen, it's early, so you don't have the real numbers yet. We got people saying this not true, the exit vote not true, did not true, that not. We don't know. We're gonna look at what we do have. How about that? I hope that's okay. We just gonna look at what we got. And what we got is a Kamala who didn't bring out the people that they thought she was gonna bring out. And it's not just in Virginia. You had some stuff going on in other states. Well, you know, the Latino vote, they just do what they want to do. Ain't it nice to be free? We should ask the Latinos what it's like to be free and just vote for who you want to vote for, based as opposed to being somebody's mule. And those of you who, somebody came in my comments and said, Yvette, why are you stealing that phrase from somebody you don't like, being somebody's mule? I made that up. Understand who's stealing from who sometimes. Dodo birds everywhere. That's why y'all extinct. But we're going to get into it. I just want to frame it. I want to frame who won and who lost. Terry McCullough lost. Child, couldn't have happened to a better person. But I want us to understand something. One of the things we have to kind of get out of, I'm trying to bring something up real quick, as I talk about the Latinos who came out for the Republican. A lot of El Salvadorians came out. Let me just bring up what they said. I had to translate that thing. Now this is what I'm just telling you what I find. Like, don't put this on me. I'm just telling you what's out there. Glenn Youngin got 56% of the vote Latino as opposed to 32% in past elections. Salvadorans are the largest Latino community in VA. And when we go out to vote for our rights, we do it. Look at them little praise hands in the air, you El Salvadorans. All right now. You will always be a winner when you are on the right side. That's what they said. Now I want you to note one thing. Ain't nobody out here calling them, y'all ought to be ashamed of y'all self. I can't believe y'all did that. I can't believe the El Salvadorans went out there and voted like that. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna probably try to get their vote next time. They don't get trashed. We get trashed. How dare you? How dare you care for yourself? How dare you not put the politician before you, you old Negro mule? That's what we get told. They get told they get to come out, have a great time, vote for the Republican, and nobody cares. You know what that means? That's freedom. How long we been here? Over 400 years, and we still ain't free enough to choose what party or what people or what candidate we want to do without getting lambasted by the Negroes who are the gatekeepers. We get lambasted by everybody. Oh my God. If the Negroes had come out, this would have turned out differently. I can't believe the Negroes. They're such good maids and butlers, but voting, they just won't do the right thing, and we try to give them the right thing. I guess they don't understand stuff. Did y'all say that to the El Salvadorans? Oh, they came out. And it wasn't just them, apparently. Now, I don't know. Again, pardon me. Because, listen, the information is still just coming in. We will be researching this for weeks. Right? So we don't know. But I know what happens. I know that Jamel Hill came out and trashed black men for not voting for Biden, and y'all ought to be ashamed, even though her mama is a Republican. You see what the gatekeepers do? Now, I see none of you people probably saying nothing about the El Salvadorans, right? And they're probably not saying anything. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I saw something earlier today about the Ethiopian population in Virginia and how the Ethiopian population, hold on a second, make this a little bit clearer for you, has decided that they care more about their home country. And I'm not throwing them no shade. You got a right if you left a mammy, a pappy, or whatever, grandpappy back there, and the American government is doing wrong. Okay, fine. But listen, they said that they were the reason. They came out, the Ethiopian, and if you look it up, the Eritreans too, they came out and said, listen, we turned on y'all Democrats. That's what they said. I didn't say it. They said we turned on y'all. That's what they said. They said Virginia shocker as the 100K strong Ethiopian community flips. Glenn Youngkin takes lead in the polls up 8% over Terry McAuliffe. As long as Dems work to starve out families in Ethiopia with sanctions, they will not get the community's vote. So they are taking credit for torpedoing. They are taking credit. Let me say it again. I'm going to do a little Umar John. They are taking credit. They are taking credit. They are taking credit for torpedoing Terry McAuliffe. But how come people won't give them credit? You see, let me say something. This is why we need disaggregation. Because part of the problem, let me come down here a little bit a second. Part of the problem is that we get way too much blame and not enough credit. So if you broke down ADOS, Retrian, and let me just say this, it's not xenophobic, because what we're saying is that all these different groups have different agendas. I don't care whether you're talking, there's no such thing as Latino or Hispanic. There are Mexicans, Hondurans, Peruvians, Ecuadorians, just like there are ADOS, Eritreans, Ethiopians, Ghanaians, Nigerians. You have to break all of this down, because you'll look at something like this. Let's just slow it down. You will look at something like this and say the black vote did X. Except the black vote in terms of the ADOS vote didn't do that. I'm not talking about what should be or what could be. It wasn't the ADOS vote that did that. What did that was a set of Eritreans or a set of Ethiopians who decided, because of their home country, that they were going to vote a separate way. You have to separate them out. Not just because they're not us, that's part of it, that's the biggest part, but because their needs are not our needs. Their wants are not our wants. Their desires and policy demands are not our policy demands. So you have to disaggregate that. Just the same way a Mexican's policy demands are not the same as a Chilean. It's not the same as an Honduran necessarily. We have to disaggregate that, because we'll get the blame. Oh, all these black women and black men and the X, Y, and Z. No, you don't know. Those could have been Eritreans. Those could have been Ethiopians who have a problem with something with American foreign policy that has nothing to do with us. We have a whole different claim and a whole different reason for voting or not voting for you. But if we did vote for you as ADOS at a 90%, 95% range, we don't get to be cobbled in together with people who didn't because they're worried about their homeland. That's not how any of this works. So, it's kind of odd, though, in a way, because you're not worried as an Ethiopian or Eritrean about my home life as an ADOS person. But I made it possible for you to be here. See, that's the problem. It's not solidarity when you're not concerned about me. When I see a tweet like the one I just put up, like, when I see this, it tears apart at any solidarity that you could have with me, because you're telling me that all you care about is this. Now, I went through what I went through. My people went through what my people went through so that you could even be here. And once you get here, you don't care about me no more. If you ever did, you only care about what's happening back there. It's not like you're saying, hey, I'm opposed to what America's doing over here. And I also want to see my ADOS brothers and sisters, as well as myself, succeed over here. So I'm meeting with ADOS and we're trying to figure a way through. You don't care about me at all. That's what this tweet says to me. You don't care about me. But you want me to care about you. And you want flat blackness. It don't work that way though, boo-boo. 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 It doesn't work that way. That's not how solidarity works. Now, let me go to something else. Because if this had been us, like if one of our groups had put up an image like that, Simone Sanders, Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, all of them would have been on us. How dare they? They are the problem in the black community. Well, let's just bring up a little bit of data about what actually happened behind the numbers of the Virginia gubernatorial election. Okay, well, let's look at some of the numbers. We like numbers over here, right? This is just by gender, right? Men, McCullough 44, Youngkin, I hate that name, 55, women 52, 46. Let's just keep going. We're just going general right now. Now here we go to race. Very interesting when you get to race. Now this is just this is from the Wall Street Journal. I think they got it. What was it? Vote something. I can't remember. White, blue. That's McCullough. 40%. Red 59. Black 88. Even with the Eritreans and Ethiopians, we 88. Red 12. Hispanic, blue 43. Red 55. And then Latino, the same thing. I don't, what y'all make these distinctions that don't make no difference. 52, 47. Imagine if those were our numbers. No, just think about it. No. Don't do it like that. Just think about it. Imagine if those were our numbers. Imagine if we were free. Huh? Let's just imagine a day where we're free. The day after, nobody is talking about Latinos or Hispanics. And this is not far away from what they did last time. They always get to go loosey-goosey. And when they go loosey-goosey, people say, oh, we just got to do better. We just got to do a lot better with trying to get the Hispanics to come over and the Latinos and the young ones they call Latinx. We just got to do a better job of getting them to come over and love us. That's how. They don't get accused of anything. Hispanics, Latinos, black immigrants, they don't get accused of anything when they decide to go against the Democratic Party. It is only us where the expectation is for us to be your mule, as if you still own us. Slavery in America is in electoral politics. Look at this mess. Now we're gonna go on. Let's go on to some other them, because there was a bunch of different polls. Everybody's gonna say, well, Yvette, you didn't bring up this poll, and there's a lot of different polls that say something that you didn't say. Now I'm tired and sleepy. That's what they're gonna say. I would have brought it up. Yeah, you would have. Okay, sure you would have. Exit poll results from the 2021 election for Virginia governor. I'm so country. Virginia governor. Okay, let's look at this. Race ethnicity, McCullough, 38%. See that blue right there? That's white in terms of race ethnicity. Youngkin, that's 61. Here that black, that's 87. Youngkin, that's 13. Hispanic, McCullough 68, Youngkin 31. That's more than 30%. We still keep coming up against stuff. That, ooh-wee. Ain't that something? We still keep coming up against these numbers. That show that y'all get to be 30%. For the Republican, and nobody says anything. Nobody says, what are you doing? Nothing? Let's go to the next one. Look at this. White men, white women. Black men, black women. Look at the difference. And let me tell you something. We always come out. Like whether or not I tried to tell. See, let me tell y'all something. The fish rots from the head. What, Yvette? The fish rot? Why is Yvette talking about rotting fish in the middle of an election episode? What's she on? Fish rots from the head. Part of the reason we said Democratic down ballot is because you got to take care of the head of this rotten fish. You got to get him first. And that scares all the little minnows that run around the shark. Get the shark. Take the shark's head off. We didn't have enough people to take the shark's head off. That's a problem. Because the rest of these groups is doing it. They don't care. If Terry McCullough don't come through for them, what did he stand for? He went out. What? And let me just say this. I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, but I don't know why some of y'all happy. I know some people say, oh, I'm so happy the Democrats lost. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Because this group of Democrats ain't doing nothing for us. So I understand why you're happy that they lost. The question becomes, though, when are we going to get something for it? See, I would be much more happy if the other party had something to offer. I don't like any of these parties because what's happening is that we're getting narrowed into something where we only have two parties. And it's not even Democrat and Republican. It's globalist versus right-wing Negro step and fetch it. What you mean, Yvette? It's globalist versus right-wing Negro step. I'm going to get to it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get to it. Because that's what it is. But let's just talk a little bit about more what they're talking about. This is Fox, but whatever. Everybody's talking about how, the Hispanics get to do what they want. They get to be free. And if they go to the Republican Party, people chase them over there. What you want? What you need to come back? You need something? You want us to rub your feet to come back to the Democrats? Here's an El Salvadoran. Hopefully the Republicans continue to win. Why did I change the landscape in El Salvador? Continue voting, compatriots. What if you can't? Whatever. That's broken English. I can't make that out. Let me see. Hold on. That was an interesting Fox poll, if you believe it, but it seems like it was taken from actual people. And also in terms of Eritrean people who tweeted online, or Ethiopian, I can't tell what this is. Yeah, they said that they're not doing this no more, about how America is doing imperialism or whatever, making the gravel bounce or whatever the case. Yeah, they said they're not. Nobody's talking about it though. That's the thing. Nobody's saying nothing about what they doing. Don't nobody care. You're not saying nothing about what they doing. But if we even get out of pocket, one election, it can be black men voted 5 percentage points less than black women for the Democrat. Oh, the black men are just stupid. They stupid Negroes. Simone Sanders, who asked you to talk? My God. What's wrong with you? You don't want us to have a voice in the politics? You don't want us to have a voice in the political infrastructure that we built? Because there is no Democratic Party without Negroes. And when I say Negroes, I mean American Negroes. There is no Democratic Party without Negroes. I know you somewhere putting away Kamala's coat right now. She's used you as a coat rack, I understand. And that's got to be very depressing and somewhat debilitating. But understand how you got there. You got there by not listening to sense. I know your mama and them taught you better. You ought to be by shame of yourself. But when I talk about it, when I say we have no choices, fam, let me slow it down. And when I say we're dealing with a lot of odd kind of shape shifting, this is what I mean. Now pay close attention to that, right? I want you to pay very close attention. Now, this is the image um, of the two people who ran against each other for lieutenant governor, right? Now, one of them is I think the one on the right is Jamaican immigrant, very conservative. The one on the left is a globe-trotting something. And when I say something, I don't mean any disrespect. I mean, this is, let me just show you what the child said she was. She said she was 1,000 different races, which mostly come out to white, even though she claims Afro-Latina. It's so weird. Where is this thing where the child talked about herself? Hold on a second. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Listen to what it said. This is what she said. I was elected to office because I did the hard work, said Ayala, who made history when she was elected in 2017, the first to the Virginia House of Delegates as one of the first two Latinas to serve in the chamber. Ayala said her father is from El Salvador with African roots and her mother's Lebanese Irish. That's white. And I don't know what about these African roots. But let me just show you something else. Let me go back a second. This is another quote from the same article. A native Virginian, no, that's a different article. A native Virginian, Ayala identifies as Afro-Latina with roots in North Africa. North Africa is mostly white North Africa, just so you know. El Salvador, Lebanon, and Ireland. She's been involved in politics through various stints as a volunteer for then President Barack Obama, etc., etc. So I want you to understand something. But just stay here for 1 second, because what's happening here is very important. What America is doing to us, what America is absolutely doing to us, is despicable. You see, what America is doing to us now as ADOS is offering us two choices. They're saying you can have the mostly white person who is a globalist, who really kind of identifies as white, but because they can say I'm Afro-Latina somewhere back here, they can use that and kind of slide in that door. Or you can have a bona fide Negro who is a right-winger. Pick your poison. What that means, and let me just show you another picture of her, the one on the right. Child, you went up and picked a whole gun that you have a problem holding. And based on the way you holding it, I don't know if you've held it before. You may be a good shooter, but I can't tell based on the way you're holding that there rifle. You went and did all that to get the white vote. And they're telling us that we have to choose between these two people. See, nobody in there represents me. I don't get represented by the woman on the right who has these right-wing conservative views and who said, what'd she say? Let me go back to what she said up top. I didn't even hit on that. Oh, it was so stupid. Use a stupid little sellout. No, let me, no. There was another one. I got another one here where a woman with the gun said something. Somebody brought it out. Shout out to Mecca. I think she's the one who brought it out today about what she said. It was just the dumbest thing. We own everything now. And anybody who tells you that we don't own everything, I don't, child. Here's what she said. Back in 1963 when my father came, okay, now I know you're eating the fruit. We can eat. She talked about you didn't have this, but now we can eat where we want. That's not wealth. God, people are just so stupid. Eating what you want is not wealth, but you didn't live through whatever. We can drink where we want. We own the water fountains. What we own the water fountains at, Dodo Bird? What water fountains we own? And this is her, and they've told us. This is what they've told us. They've told us that you don't have a choice. That you got to pick between a sellout and a globalist. Between a sellout and a globalist, neither one of those represents you. One represents right-wingers and one is like Obama. This is the same thing. There's nothing different. It's like this and this. I got to get the globalist who believes in open borders and don't really like Negroes but likes rap. Or I got to pick the right-winger who, whatever. I am concerned because we don't have a choice. I am concerned because our views and our needs are not represented by either of these people. So when I see elections like I saw with Obama, like I just saw today, I am concerned that what they're giving us is a choice between a globalist and a right wing dance. I'm a step it and a fetch it and a step it and a fetch it and a step it and a fetch it. I'm concerned about that. Because your father came here from Jamaica. What kind of guns was you shooting? Did you just start shooting when you got here? I'm just saying, or you just start shooting because white people were shooting? Now, we have gun culture in this country. I want to know when you decided to pick up that thing. You got a bump stop in the back. Is that what that is? Somebody tell me what that is. When did you start doing that? Did you just start doing that to kowtow? To right-wingers? Then you got the other one up here. You just started doing this stuff for diversity. Well, I'm everything. I'm a chameleon. When I go into black spaces, I say I'm Afro-Latina. Wink, wink, nod, nod. When I go into white spaces, I talk about how I'm Irish. Just like Obama did. You remember when Obama went and said, I'm Irish. I'm back in my homeland. Okay, yeah, when I go into white spaces, I tout my Irishness. When I go into Arab or Middle Eastern spaces, I talk about Lebanese, my Lebanese-ness. You a chameleon, some kind of shape-shifting something. Either way, none of that represents me. So I don't just get happy. What's the best way for me to say it? I don't just get kind of amused. Which one of them was a Marine, fam? I forgot. Which one of them was a Marine? I don't just get amused by the fact that Democrats lost. I don't have a problem with them losing. Please understand that. Especially like Terry McAuliffe, I got no issue with that. What I'm concerned with is that they're changing the framework. They're changing the framework, fam. And the framework has been changed in such a way that we don't have a choice. There's no Negro in there who is, I'm Negro and I'm ADOS and I'm down with reparations. I want to talk about a black agenda. I want to talk about what my people in the inner city need. I want to talk about what my people outside the inner city need. I want to talk about what we don't talk about ADOS people enough. I want to talk about, we don't see that. The ADOS people that we see, now in this case, the right winger is not ADOS. But that's normally what we see. You're getting this construct where you have one right winger and one diversity, what's the best word to describe it? One diversity globalist. So in either race, it's like your choice is one right winger and one diversity globalist. That doesn't meet our needs. But they both look brown or whatever. And so we'll be like, well, no, they are right. They both brown and they just got different points of view. Neither one of these points of view represents us, though. That's my concern. Oh, Sears was the Marine, child. I bet you. You good. You good at taking orders. I wanted to be a Marine too back in the day, but I can't do it. Got one time to yell too loud at me. What? You calm? You all right? You feeling okay? But you know, military service too is a way to like become an American, right? So that's a lot of it's not always patriotic. It's because like if you were in the military and you're going to want to become a citizen, that's a pathway. Like sometimes because we're American, we don't really understand pathways, and that's the problem. That's a problem. And my whole thing is, you just have to disaggregate everything. Because if you disaggregate everything, you see that I'm not either one of these women. I'm not Sears and the other woman, Hayala. I'm not either one of them. If you disaggregate with different groups, even if you put it under, I don't even know if the Hayala lady, what is her name? I don't even think she would make it under, I think she'd be white. In terms of like her background, not in terms of color. We're not doing melanin, because in terms of color, we're the same complexion, but we're not the same. That's why you have to disaggregate, though, fam. You have to disaggregate. Because you don't disaggregate and take disaggregation seriously. White people especially, but even our own people, look at these two people that's still up on the screen and say, y'all the same as them. Right? Y'all the same people. Why y'all talking like y'all different? No, we actually are different. We have a whole different lineage and a whole different background, and we're different. And we have to help our people see and help white people see too that we're different. Just like if you're a white person and you are from, you just came in here from Ireland. Somebody else just came from Czechoslovakia. Somebody else just came from Russia. Y'all know y'all different. Whole nationalities, whole cultures. We have to do that as well. We have to do that as well. And so, to me, the biggest deal about this election, when I saw Ethiopians talking, when I saw Eritreans talking, when I saw Latinos talking, the biggest deal is, listen, why y'all get to be free and we don't? How do you just come here and you get to be free and have a political point of view and I don't? And go vote Republican. If my people do that, we get lambasted. Well, I tell you what has to happen. We have to have a disaggregation. If we have a disaggregation, everybody will know, oh, wait, ADOS went to vote there. And so we owe them something. You voted like this. We don't owe you anything. Don't put them in there with us. See, you'll have a bunch of Ethiopian men in with ADOS men, and you'll say, oh my God, black men didn't do X, Y, and Z. No, we don't know what happened. We don't know how many of the black men that you're talking about was Ethiopian men or Eritrean men who are mad about something that happened over there. You got to disaggregate this. You have got to disaggregate this, and that is the biggest takeaway, for me at least, from this election. Is that this electoral politics doesn't make any sense unless you take those numbers apart. These people, the Ethiopians who put that Twitter out, they voting on one issue. They like Republicans and abortion. They one issue voters. Not, well, let me think about a lot of stuff. No matter what you think about it. They like, nah, this one thing, how you treated my people. I'm not saying nothing about it. I'm just saying that you can't compare that to us. We're not the same. And we got to get that together. So, fam, give me a few minutes to set up the phones. I want to hear what y'all got to say about it. See? In the 13 minutes early. I want to hear what y'all have to say about it. If you're in Virginia, too, or somewhere around there, please give me a call. I want to know what happened, you know, and what it looked like on the ground. It's all fine and dandy. But please let me know. Give me a couple of minutes, as usual, to set it up, and we'll have a conversation. All right, fam, we are back. We are back, and we're gonna go straight to the phones, fam. Like I said, I'm not gonna keep you here as long as usual tonight. So let's go straight to it. I'm going now to 469. 469. What is your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Hey, Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you, fam. What's going on?
Hey, Ben, well, I'm from Dallas.
Hey.
Well, I was going to say, that election in Virginia last night, that should be an end of Pan-Africanism as we know it. Those Ethiopians and Eritreans basically showed they will sacrifice our folks' well-being in these states and these cities to get their political gains. How are you going to be in America trying to dictate American politics for sanctions in Ethiopia and Eritrea? If you want to worry about that, you should go back to Eritrea and Ethiopia and fight like our folks did here to get their political gains, you know?
Well, let me say one other thing, fam. We were talking, part of the debate, not all of it, because it's a win and loss district by district. But part of that conversation was over critical race theory, right? And so we're trying to fight. We're trying to fight for we're trying to fight for the thing that allowed you to be here. The thing that allowed you to be here was us talking about race, and people are trying to have a conversation and fight about that. But you won't even allow us to fight about that because you're fighting a homeland battle. You don't even understand that you have to be a part of our battle when you get here, right? That's a problem.
Hey, Ben, I say this quote. Do you know who A. Philip Randolph is?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, A. Philip Randolph said this quote. This is in the 1950s. Instead of reducing immigration to 2% of the 1819 quota, we favor reducing it to nothing. We favor shutting out the Germans from Germany, the Italians from Italy, the Hindus from India, the Chinese from China, and even the Negroes from the West Indies. This country is suffering from immigrant intercession. Can you not tell me that quote is not true, more true today than it is back then? Because if we have immigrants dictating American politics now, that's only going to be doom and gloom for our collective. And we always say that we fought for people to come over here, but there was a lot of black leftists in that time period who were restrictionists, and they got shut out by the black respectability groups who wanted to bring immigrants over because they knew they brought immigrants over, they would shut out planes and shut us out from ever becoming true Americans. So I feel like we always say we fought them to be over here, but a lot of black leftists in that time period, like Malcolm, A. Philip Randolph, and even Martin, with them being quiet and A. Philip Randolph speaking heavily and boldly on the immigration restrictions, they showed that they did not want immigration to be how it is today.
And the thing is, thank you, fam. I appreciate you. And the thing is, I think one of the things we have to start being clear on as ADOS is we never have conversations with groups who immigrate here about, okay, what is this thing doing? Okay, what do I require to be in solidarity with you? See, it can't be you just focus on foreign policy. It can't be just you engaged in international relations. You have to be concerned about me. And I think part of the framework of Pan-Africanism is too much of me having to be concerned about you and you not having to be concerned about me. There's no way that the Ethiopian group, whatever I just put up, should be able to say what they just said, which is we're only concerned about this thing. Hold on a second. There's a whole group of ADOS who are the reason for you being allowed to be here, and you're telling us you don't have to talk to us. You don't have to consider us. You don't have to even negotiate with us about how we help you, how you help us. You're just going to tell us that we're just going to do this? Okay, so why should I show up for you again if you're not going to engage me seriously in dialogue in terms of what is important for quote-unquote Black America? There has to be some sort of serious engagement. And what I see is that everybody just does their own thing and advocates for themselves. But then when we try to say, hey, we're ADOS, we'll advocate for ourselves. People say, oh my God, you're so divisive. How could you? We have Harvard still, they ain't took their stuff down yet. They just lied and lied and lied. And you know, and it's still up. And I don't see any of these groups who we talk about coming to our defense saying, you know what, ADOS, we should be right there for you because this didn't happen. This should not have happened to you. I don't see that. But I see people calling for us to be there. And I think we've never really had a meeting of the meetings, not in modern times. But we have a conversation about, listen, there are certain requirements that have to be met for us to be okay. It just hasn't happened. And that's a problem, right? And there has to be a foundation for any kind of solidarity. I'm just not talking about black immigrants. I'm talking about Latinos. I'm talking about even if you come here from Czechoslovakia or Russia, you want to do what kind of politics? Okay, let's talk about it. I'm open to talking about it with anybody, but there has to be a foundation. I'm just not going to just jump on your train. It is what it is. Next caller, 757-757. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette. My name is Tanya. I'm calling from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Okay.
Tidewater area for everybody out there. I just wanted to kind of give my feel on my experience voting and whatnot.
Okay.
There were no lines. It took me less than 5 minutes from walking in the door to put my ballot in. And yeah, like one thing I found interesting is that I saw Winston Sears billboard up.
Who?
And it's just down the street from the project.
Who?
There was no Yunkin sign.
Who you said? The little Sears. Yeah, okay.
So
go ahead, fam. I'm sorry.
I thought that was kind of shady how, they pushed the black woman in the black neighborhood, but you didn't see a Yunkin sign.
Makes sense, though.
But yeah, it was rough. Me and my spouse, we went out and voted, and we did our thing. But
who'd you vote for?
City is, I did vote Democrat. I voted Democratic down ballot last year, and the year before that was my first time voting independent. So I've been kind of on the fence with the Democrat, and I'm just trying to make it right. But it's kind of hard when these are your options,
Well, either you're what did Alexander say when he called in here one time? Either you're at the table or you're on the menu. We just tend to exist on the menu.
Right, exactly.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, my particular city is about 60% white, a little bit under 30% black, and yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate you calling in, especially from that. Did you vote this last election? No, did you vote for McCullum or whoever? Did you vote this recent one?
I did vote for McCullum.
Okay. Just trying to figure out what people were doing out there. Appreciate you. Thank you for calling. You see, it's a lot of stuff going on. Politics, let me tell you, politics is a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to my next call. I probably won't do but a few more calls for myself. I was getting out of here early. But if you're still in there, you can call in, still in the queue or whatever, or if you want to call in, you can. 816, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Freddie from Kansas City.
Hey, Fred.
And one of the biggest, hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
One of the biggest things on my mind is that because the Democratic Party isn't offering us anything, I feel like it's going to be hard for me not to vote Democrat because, I hate to admit it, but I voted for Biden because Trump was just so awful to me, just the way he was handling the crisis with the COVID, and I just I just couldn't do 4 more years of that guy. I didn't want to, and
you'd be surprised what you can do. And I'm not. And then listen.
I'm starting to feel that Biden's doing some really horrible stuff already.
Yeah.
I mean, he took he allowed the COVID money in Alabama to be used to build jails. I mean, that was supposed to help people. And it's just like, it seemed like there's a chance that Biden might actually be worse. And it's just like, what I'm not looking forward to doing is not voting Democrat, because I think they're going to have to offer us something, because they're offering us nothing. And it's just, I think I'm going to look forward to the next, midterm election.
Let me ask you.
Election of our people. We're just going to have to not vote Democrat if they're not going to offer us nothing.
Let me ask you a question.
That's going to be hard to do.
Let me ask you a question, though, fam. What was your big deal? Like, I wasn't in favor of Trump, and I wasn't a fan of Biden. So I left it blank for both of them. I don't like neither one of them. What was your big thing about, like, I don't want another 4 years of Trump? Because for me, these are both awful. These are two awful options. Biden, Trump, Jim Crow Joe, and Trump, who was just, Lord knows whatever. Like, why were you like, I gotta vote for Biden? Because I'm just trying to get into your head, because I need to figure out what I did wrong in terms of not convincing people to leave this man alone. So just help me understand why that was your posture.
Well,
that's all.
Well, he basically kind of backtracked and said, well, he shouldn't have done that omnibus crime bill. He seemed like he backtracked on that, and I was thinking that maybe that's what he was going to do. That he wasn't going to go ahead and do the same thing, but now I can see that what he did was a back door where he allowed the money they was given to a state, they could just go ahead and use it for jails. I was thinking that he wouldn't do that. And I knew what Trump was like. He was always, he started with the just stand back and stand by kind of thing, where he just giving just a whistle to the racists, It was like to come and attack us. I'm like, man, it's like, I don't want that. So I went with Biden. I said, I'd much rather have him than Trump. And now it's just like, man, oh man, that was a mistake.
You regret that?
Down ballot, at least
I don't know. Excuse me. you got my chest against, because you said that. Yeah. You regret that vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I really do. I wish it would have been nothing, because at least that would have sent the signal that there's a vote missing here. There's some vote missings, and if we want people to come back to the table, we to get those votes back. So I really feel like I definitely did the wrong thing, and I should just left it blank.
Thank you, fam.
And,
next time.
And I think sometimes we do make emotional decisions. It seemed like it was a logical thing to do.
Well, sometimes let me just say this. It's not just it is emotional. That's true. But sometimes you just got to be willing to take a sacrifice. Like, even if Trump had gotten back in and he done something awful, and Lord knows he wild. That's a wild man. So you don't know what he's gonna do. Sometimes you just have to be willing to, you know what? I'm going to be willing to take this sacrifice to prove to the Democratic Party that if you don't do what I need you to do, I ain't coming back. So you can't win without me. You can't win without us. And I'm letting you know that if you don't give us what we want, we just gonna continue to vote down ballot. We're not gonna ever come back to you. There are times in life where you have to be willing to teach lessons, right? It can't be about you being scared. Life is too short to be scared. Like I said last episode, less than 100 years. It's too short for you to be scared of anything. You shouldn't be scared of anything. You a flesh and bone creature anyway with little fleshy organs. You could die at any moment. What you scared of? So I just think we have to be willing to say, hey, either you're going to do it or I'm not going to be with you. And I appreciate your honesty and your candor, caller. I appreciate it. I'm going to go to the next caller so we can hurry up and I can keep my promise. But I want to thank you for calling in, caller. I appreciate it because he was more honest than a lot of people would be willing to be. Right? A lot of people won't even be honest with you about what they voted for Biden. They won't tell you what well, I did vote down ballot. I did, and it just didn't work. You was a liar. You lie. So let me go to the next caller, 516. 516. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette.
Hey,
Hey, Yvette. This is Stacy from Freeport.
what's going on?
New York. I haven't spoken to you in a long time. I was at the conference in Spirit online. I paid for my online ticket. Couldn't be there physically this year, but hopefully next year. Look, last caller. I had courage. I voted Democrat down ballot. I
Okay.
didn't have to vote for Biden or Trump. Didn't have to choose the lesser of two evils. Looking at what happened yesterday in Virginia, doesn't bother me at all. Okay, 88%, 87% of black people who voted for McAuliffe.
Okay.
But the turnout was much lower
True.
than the presidential
True.
race.
Which is normal, right?
It seemed like about 900,000. Who were those 900,000 people who didn't show up? You know, are we going to do a post-mortem on that? Because it seemed to me as I was listening to some of the people who helped with the campaign, they were going door to door trying to get young black people to come out and vote.
They didn't come out and vote because Obama came to
People are
town?
saying- Yeah, it seems like they're saying, what's in it for me? As you keep saying, it's an exchange. Our vote is not a gift. And I think some people are starting to get it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, fam. Here's the thing. Let me just say this. Off of what you just said, you have to give, and this is what, see, the thing is what worked during Trump, it seems like it's not working right now. You have to give people something to vote for. You can't just always give people something to vote against. So you can't just say, oh, he's opposed to critical race theory. I understand, but give me something to vote for. Tell me something else. Give me something quantifiable in my life. You can't just show up, Obama, and talk about the meanness of Republicans. We don't just show up because we have a lot to do. Sometimes we got to get off work, do all kind of stuff. We're not just showing up because somebody was mean, right? We're showing up because there's something in it, because we need something to be in it. That's what it is. But I'm going to let you go ahead, Carl. I'm sorry. I just had to chime in on that point you made.
Oh, no, that's great. And there was a race. I don't know if you paid attention to the race in Buffalo, New York.
I saw it.
Where India Walton lost the race. Guess what? To a write-in candidate.
Ain't that something?
Gives me some hope.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that
It
something?
gives me hope in this. There are ways to get rid of some of the dead wood that we have in the Democrat Party that's supposed to be serving the needs of ADOS.
Mm-hmm.
And there are several people that if we can come together nationally for one part, there's a person I would love to see go, it would shake the Democrat Foundation to its core.
Who?
Imagine if people could get together to get rid of James Clyburn.
I knew you was gonna say that.
District. If there's a set of real reparations churches, people in that district who believe, and someone could be put in as a write-in candidate. They don't have to be a Democrat. I mean, they don't have to. They might be a Democrat, but they don't have to serve the party. And this is this seems like the only way we're going to get rid of some people who don't serve us at all. We speak about Terry. We speak about, Terry Sewell in Alabama. What business? I mean, if you're not there to serve the people who put you in, what use are you? And if we come together as the ADOS Advocacy Foundation in all of the states and back someone in one area, perhaps we can get it done. I don't know. What do you think?
You got to give it a try. You ain't got nothing to do but try. Chapter's coming soon. But you got to give it a try. Like, life ain't nothing but trying and figuring out what works anyway. People get too caught up in, well, I'm not sure. I don't know. What if I did? Well, just try it and see if it works and hush. And then if it don't work, we'll try something else. Stop all your babbling. We just going to try until something works.
I hope there's going to be a chapter in an ADOS chapter
Oh, yeah.
in that district. I live in New York, So, but if there's a chapter there, I'm going to do it.
Well, you know, let me just say this, fam. Let me just say this. New York was thick at the conference. Like, I didn't even realize there was that much New York there at the conference. So we definitely got to do something in New York, because New York was thick at the conference. So they didn't care. We was trying to social distance, COVID restrictions. New York, we're in the bill. So y'all there. So we definitely got to do something there. I never knew that New York was. I never knew that New York was that thick until the conference, because we didn't really have nobody there work nothing.
No, New York, we've been there.
Like the people who were saying they were leading chapters there, no shade, they weren't really doing that. But so I didn't really know until the conference was like, oh my God, y'all really are in here like that. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Appreciate you. Yeah. We gonna do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Anyway, let me go to I'm going down to 202. 202, what's your name? Where you calling from and what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Yvette? How you feeling tonight?
Pretty good. I can't complain. What's up with you?
For sure. Everything's good. Hey, it's your boy Al calling out of North New Jersey. And I just want to let you know that a lot of these immigrants, no matter where they come from, they would never patronize anyone that's ADOS. You know, like I said, I've been here, 41 years of my life. I'm, trying to be an entrepreneur most of my life. I'm a musician. And when you try to step to these other cultural races or, their businesses and say, hey, look, I got a product, I like to network with you, I'll get back to you. Or, they just don't come into Black American restaurants or businesses, but we're always patronizing them. So I don't see the solidarity of that ever happening. And the guy caller that called before, I'm glad you told him, don't be scared. It ain't nothing to be scared out here. And as far as the lady that just called last, yeah, we could put all the chips behind one person, but at the end of the day, we need multiple out here. We need to focus our energy on putting, multiple effort into getting multiple aid. Like she said, it don't got to be an ADOS candidate. It can just be somebody who understands reparations. I see a lot of the Green Party talking about that, but unfortunately, they don't have the ADOS talking point. So it's like, where do we go from here as far as like, trying to get other people to decide on our, reparations agenda.
And I used to think seriously about that Green Party thing. And the thing is that the problem that I keep coming up against is that we are the foundation of one party, right? So we are the foundation of the Democratic Party. Like, we are their mule. I need my mule to work for me though. You ever take a mule out to the farm and he don't plow for you and he your mule? Like, we not like the Democratic Party. Like think of us as their mule. No, you our mule. It's the other way around. I'm electing you to do something for me and you not doing it. And so we would like to say, let's go build a whole nother party, as opposed to just saying, what's wrong with my mule? Is he sick? And if he's sick or whatever, that's one thing. But if the mule just don't work for me, I'm just not gonna feed this mule no more, right? But it has to be done. It can't be done in some kind of lazy way. I'm just not gonna go vote. It can't be done individually. Whatever we do has to be done as a collective. Like I said, we either rise together or we fall together. It can't be done as like one Negro said, I ain't gonna go vote. I just don't. No, what we do has to be done together so people know that we are moving as a unit. That's kind of why, that's why the ADOS Advocacy Foundation is so important, because it's not just one Negro just deciding they're gonna lay down on the day. It's all of us saying, listen, as a group, this is what we've chosen. This is our path. And this is what we're going to do. And we're going to watch the impact of that on America. And that's what has to happen. We can't build a party and then be like, well, the party we built don't work for us. If you build a house and the house don't have no shelter and somebody come and take the house, don't you want to go get the house back? Because that's our party. Ain't no party without us. Don't you want to say, hey, that's my party. What you doing in my house? Get out my house. You don't just be like, well, I guess it's your house now. Nobody does that.
Right. So let me piggyback off of that then. So to reiterate again what the last lady caller just said, what do you think about the guy Charles Blow, I guess his name, about all ADOS need to move back to the South, and I'm gonna hang up and you can answer.
Thank you.
And then, in the chat.
Appreciate it, fam. I would love to answer that. I would love to answer that. Thank you, fam. I appreciate you. It don't make no sense. I think people are coming up with all kind of fantastical ideas that don't make no sense. And people are talking to them like it makes sense. Well, you want to start, how many times have we moved? Don't call it moving, call it running. Call it running. We have ran and ran and ran. During the Great Migration, we ran. So you're telling us because people don't respect what we do. You're telling us because people don't respect us as human beings. You're telling us because people don't respect our voting and what that's supposed to mean. You're telling us because there's no exchange that we have to once again in this world uproot ourselves and move somewhere else. Not only move somewhere else, move to the South, which is one of the most despicable places for us to live. I live in the South. I know what it looks like. You're telling us, Charles Blow, you don't live here. You live in New York. When are you going to move down here? I'm tired of y'all. You don't get to say that. You going to move over there in Loudoun County with the people who have hookworm? When are you going to move? You move first and move over there. Well, they ain't got no plumbing. See, for too many of these people, this is why it gets me upset. Because I know ADOS people who are poor. Like, that's always been a part of my life. But I just feel like you live up in New York and you go to the coffee shop and you write your columns and you say anything. Because you're trying to sell a book or you're trying to sell an article. But the solution is never going to be for us to keep running. That's not the solution. And if you come down here and you move down here in massive amounts of numbers, guess what's going to happen? They're going to come up with another rule. You know, Alabama has a lot of, and what's it, Mississippi? Lots of Negroes, but not lots of power. Have you ever looked into why that is? Why we got Negroes in the black belt, they don't have no power? Because it's not just about numbers, it's about laws. It's about Jim Crow laws that are still in the books. Are you down there helping them write that off the books? No, you're just talking. I'm tired of theory. And I'm tired of theories from people. I don't care where you live before you went to New York. I'm tired of theories from people who don't live in these places and are not willing to relocate their damn self. If you ain't willing to move to Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, shut up. You move first. Goodness. Your columns ain't been good in a long time anyway. You're out of ideas. Wrap it up. Gosh, just go get a different job. 757, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, yeah, this is Michelle from Hampton, Virginia.
Hey.
Hey, you had said earlier you wanted people from Hampton or
Yeah, Virginia, yeah.
Call and let you know what happened.
Sure.
Well, well, basically, ADOS spat it out, and when I say ADOS, I mean a lot of black people in general, the American descendants of slave black people. And the reason was because of Biden, not really because of McCullough. Yeah, this is a big military area, and there's a lot of federal jobs. And everybody has a vaccine mandate, and thousands of people are losing their jobs and protesting. So it was kind of like, why are we going to vote Democrat? We'll put this crazy ass in here who's against the vaccine because everybody's getting fired. So yeah, that's why they didn't vote.
So you think the vaccine played a role in it? I hadn't heard that before.
Oh yeah, it's a huge issue. I mean, we've got kids that are, and I say kids, you know, the 20-somethings, the young adults, they don't want to take the vaccine, and at this point, because all the jobs are federal, we're being mandated. You have to take it.
Okay.
And so people are just saying forget it, and they're quitting in droves. So, yeah, that's what caused the
that's an interesting take, fam. I had never heard that take before. That's interesting. That's interesting. The vax mandates there was a backlash amongst ADOS people to the vax mandate. That's interesting. I had never heard that before. I appreciate that because I hadn't heard that take. Anybody else in Virginia too? Thank you, fam. I'm gonna let you go because some people always come halfway through the show and decide they want to just call. Thank you, fam. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's the first time I heard that. I'm going to my next caller, 646. 646. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Hi, my name is Steven.
Hey, Stephen.
and I live in New York.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi. First of all, just thank you so much. You have educated me so much. There's times when I find myself now, it's like I just think differently and I act differently. But just a few quick points. I think my reason for voting for Biden was, I'm going to clean up a quote that Nina Turner made when she said the choice between Trump and Biden. She said it was a choice between a plate of poop or a pile of poop.
I remember that. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was just kind of caught. But I'll tell you what, I have come to the point where I've said enough is enough. They will not take my vote for granted. I live in New York City. I voted in the mayoral race yesterday, and it was the first time. You were speaking to a gentleman earlier, and you said we got to start making tough choices. And I said, this is my first time not actually going in there to vote for someone. I did write-in, and I didn't vote for Eric Adams. I voted, I'll tell you, I wrote in Mickey Mouse because I'm just tired of Democrats across the line. Yesterday, I'm not surprised when I listened to the talking heads today, especially about the Virginia race. All they're talking about is what Youngkin, the winner of the race, they keep talking about what he was running on and what he said. And I'm like, well, what did the Democrats say and run? What did McCullough say? And they're running away from the fact that black people, ADOS, we ran away from them. And your last caller made a very interesting point about the fact. I kind of think, especially because living here in New York, they were so heavy-handed, our governor and mayor, they were so heavy with shutting everything down. People are just tired of it now. And they're like, we want to get on with our lives. And I think that fatigue has set in, and people are just fed up.
Yeah, y'all was Australia over there.
On the last census, I wrote in that I'm black, and underneath I put ADOS and spelled out what ADOS is. So I just want to thank you. That's
thank you, fam. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm getting all kind of interesting things. Thank you, fam. I'm getting all kinds of interesting information. I appreciate it. Because I know that it's America's so different. I don't even think half the time America's one country. It's so big, it ain't the same country. So, like, I'm in the South, and so, like, in the South, there was no heavy mandate. There was no mandate, really, in terms of anything, for the most part, in terms of restaurants or anything. So it's different for me when I hear somebody who is from New York and they say it was very heavy-handed, because that was not my experience here, right? Everything been open, child. So to hear that, okay, this might have been the backlash here. That's interesting, because I just didn't know. That's why I love people to call in, because I know New York's telling me what happened over here in Virginia, all this stuff. This is interesting. Anyway, going to my next caller. 240. What's your name? Where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette.
Hey.
D from Prince George's County. How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. So, I just want to say that you inspire me. You are an amazing person.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate it.
Every time it comes out, I've been missing you. I was like, man, when she come back? And you're back, so I'm happy. I'm happy. But about this Virginia race, right? Well, just the races in general, I think that white politics has won, like it always has. It feels like when it comes to CRT, which was used to be the boogeyman, they say, oh, our children are learning CRT. They learn CRT and saying white kids are saying that they're bad and da-da-da-da. But I'm like, well, the feeling of the white children shouldn't be put above the lives of ADOS children. At all.
But ain't it always?
And every time they put something out about black people, or how we feel when we want to be free in this country, be allowed to actually vote for a party that does something for them, and not just vote for a party because, you know, they believe that even though we're free Negroes, we still have to be under their boot. And it's just tiring to see that every time they put up white people, these old white men, to lead a party of young black ADOS people.
Ooh, old white men leading young ADOS. Ooh. Woo, go ahead, fam.
I'm 23 years old, and just to look at Joe Biden at this climate change thing, and he falls asleep. It's like, sir, in 20 years you may not be here, but I will, hopefully. And you're not trying to protect the world where you put power plants and ADOS communities, and they're dying for pollution. And you say, oh, we should stop this. We're going to stop this in 2030. 2030 is too long. We're going to continue to die. We're going to continue to die for another 10 years because you all want to protect these oil companies. You all want to protect the white interests. That's why people's feelings are hurt. People's feelings are going to get broken up.
Ooh-wee.
I'm tired. We are in a death cult. America is allowing ADOS people to die to make their money.
Yep.
They're allowing our lives just to be thrown away. That they're going to make sure these few white people, well, not these few white people, but if we come together and actually say, this is what we want, Democrats, this is what you want to have to give us, 55 members of the CBC, they need to tell them, look, if you don't give us reparations, we're not voting for a Build Back Better Act. How can you build back better when you haven't built the ADOS community?
Oh. How can you build back better when you ain't built back the first time? You ain't no better for us. We ain't even had the first build back good to build back better. What you talking about? Go ahead, fam.
Nothing. We haven't had anything. First Reconstruction, y'all destroyed that. Oh, white people won't feel bad about the Negroes being in office. Like, when are they going to allow us to actually choose the path we want to go on? What we deserve.
To be free people, you asking about?
To be free people. Be free. To be free. That's all I want. I'm 23 years old. I'm yearning to be free. I'm tired. I'm totally tired. I live in Prince George's County, and it still feels like I'm on a plantation. The richest black county in America, and it feels like we get scrapped compared to other places, Montgomery County. And I want to run for office so bad, but my anxiety and the fear of campaigning and people being like, oh, well, we're not ready for that. We're not going to do that. And these old politicians getting in place to allow our world to die and the next generation ADOS to suffer even more. And I'm just tired of it. Completely tired.
I understand. And a lot of us are right there with you, fam. And that's and let me just say this, fam. And the sad part about it is that this country has made you that tired, that young. You're not supposed to be that tired, that young. But that's what this country does. To us. Not to everybody. Just to us. So.
Just to us.
Thank
you. You know, I always say indigenous people are bad, but I feel like for ADOS, it's just, well, you know, the indigenous people, they're always half gone now. So we're just going to keep these, our former enslaved, the love of our lives, because they were working for us free, to always be underneath us.
Well, it's capitalism, right? So in capitalism, somebody got to fail. And so the proposition in this country is that it's always going to be these people. It's always going to be this group. Somebody got to fail. Let's just make it always be the Negroes. And, you know, we have never kind of seen the con in terms of our politics. This is a con. And how do we come outside of this con? Because if somebody's going to be the bottom, people always claim, well, wait, if somebody's got to be the bottom, that's not right. Nobody should have to be the bottom. I don't care. Like, we have been the bottom for 400 years. If somebody's got to be the bottom, I don't care no more. It just can't be me. It just can't be my people. We've done enough. We've suffered enough. We've built enough. It can't be us.
But the thing is, I feel like these politicians don't have a good imagination. They can't think of a world where people can just live clean air, can get the things that they deserve because they're human.
They don't care.
Because they're white.
Like, let me clear one thing up, fam. And thank you for calling. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna try to get one more person in here before we go. Appreciate you, fam, so much. They don't care. Like, they don't care that you're a human. Like, human life means nothing to these people. These are people who fight wars and make the, like I said, make the rubble bounce all the time. They do not care. Like, you being human, you're a cog in a wheel or whatever. Humanity is just another tool for them. They do not care. So somebody's going to suffer. I would prefer that nobody suffers, but I didn't create this world. They gonna make somebody suffer. What I'm saying is that 400 plus years on the bottom, get me up off of there. Get my people up off of there. We're going crazy. We're all kinds of, get my people up off of there. You all have arranged this stuff in a certain way. Okay, figure it out. But my people can't continue to be on the bottom like that. We're gonna go crazy like that. Or we're gonna die off like that. We're gonna starve out like that. And it's not my job to end world imperialism. It's not my job, although I disagree with imperialism and I've always stood against it. It's not my job to end white supremacy worldwide or all the stuff that I dislike, whether it be imperialism, white supremacy. We can't do that. We're trying to survive. All of you people who just do theory and leftist BS and just talk all the time with your little people of color or white friends, you are horrible people. I don't know how you look in the mirror every day because all you do is talk. According to you, the revolution is in the footnotes. You have no courage at all. None. You are weak people. And I'm talking to you. I used to be on the left. The entire left is just weak, need nothingness. You want to talk to me? Hey, get in a conversation with a leftist sometime. You know what they're going to tell you? They're going to get 10 minutes into the conversation and tell you, you know what? I have an article coming out soon. I have a book coming out soon. Stop talking to me about revolution if your revolution is getting publishing. That's all it is. Don't nobody need none of that. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing but talk and enrich all the people at Jacobin or whatever else. The publishers of all these leftist stuff live in LA, New York, living the best lives. This ain't real life for them. This is just talk. It's just theory. It's a form of enjoyment. They get together and have wine and have conversation. Don't believe this is real for these people. And don't join forces with them because they're not joining with you. They're just trying to grift and get ideas off of you and say, I have a Negro friend. Going to probably my last caller, 7169. I have 2716, 7169. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing? This is Eugene from Buffalo, New York.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. So India is a close friend of mine. Grew up on the street behind me, and I've been watching her since she got involved in just everything with the community and all that. And I was helped out with the campaign. I worked the polls yesterday. I did everything I could do, posting on Facebook, all this and that. Me and my girl been watching you for years, so well, just as far as understanding, how politics works and what needs to happen in our community and as a people to see change, and that's what Indy was fighting for. And what I seen as the issue in Buffalo yesterday, working the polls, I seen old ladies coming in there with walkers and breathing machines to vote. I seen old couples. I seen grandmas. I seen I seen young black women coming to vote. I seen mothers coming to vote. What I didn't see is no men that looked like me. I ain't see no dudes in their 20s or 30s coming in to vote, bringing their sons, bringing their daughters, or just bringing themselves coming to vote. And I watched Byron's whole campaign. Byron is a career politician. I watched him when he first came here to Buffalo from Buffalo State College and got up under Arthur O'Eve, who was an older politician here.
Okay.
I watched Byron work the ranks of Common Council, then watch him be a state senator, and then watch him come back and do his first campaign for mayor. And I was behind Byron back then. That was back in 2005. I took my friends around in the cars to go vote for him, made sure I can get as many votes for him as I could. And then I watched Byron, as soon as he get in office, turn his back on us and start raiding the hood with cops. Started just every little thing he could do. So many black businesses got shut down because some idiot shoots up the club outside and he shuts down the black business. Cameras all over the place and just in the hood. what you call what's the Joyce, and what you call them, speeding cameras, turned them off everywhere after the whole city complained about him, but left him only in the hood. And all the stuff he did. A lot of, economic development came because since Byron has been here, but all that money is none of that money is coming here to black contractors. Some of them don't have their stuff together, or it's just going straight to the people that's been contributing to his campaign the last 20 years. And just now, Byron, he lost the Democratic primary. He took it for granted. He thought he just had everybody beat. He didn't take India serious. He lost it. So he had to do a write-in. But he had millions of dollars come from Republican-funded super PACs. When you trace back the money, when we was getting literature in the mail from that was talking bad about India, negative literature about India, the super PACs was in Virginia. It's coming from Virginia, a good government of New York. A Republican super PAC. This money on top of money that he had. Coming in. And India, she fought a good fight. She had people like myself. She had so many different people from so many walks of life who just wanted change and wanted good for Buffalo. She did all she could, but Byron had millions behind him. He spent $100,000 on stamps just to make sure his name was written properly on the ballots. Commercials after commercials, and he had the police force. He pro-police. Byron was quiet as a Republican mouse every time a cop would shoot somebody or beat somebody.
Ooh, Republican mouse, child. He going in.
I can't hear you.
No, I said you going in. You said quiet as a Republican mouse, child. I didn't say nothing.
Quiet as a Republican mouse. But when we just had the big protest for George Floyd, some young boy, he was in his early 20s. At the time he probably was 18. He got overzealous, threw something at City Hall, broke a window, and Byron was right on the news with all of the cops calling him an idiot and this and that. And but cop would kill somebody here in Buffalo, smother somebody out, plant drugs on somebody on camera. You never hear nothing. Byron don't say nothing. Quiet. But when they had cameras all throughout the city, everybody protested and got upset. Left him only on baby. Oh, and Byron's son. His son got arrested years ago for shoplifting out of AJ Wright. His son got arrested for stealing Byron's car when he was 18 years old, crashing all up and down the neighborhood and stuff like that. He's fine. He didn't get on TV and call him an idiot. But some young black poor boy.
Sounds like Obama.
Protesting police violence. Say it again?
I said sounds like Obama.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit worse. Obama had a little bit more soul with him. He had a good acting with it,
Yeah, he was,
had more swag. Byron, you get around Byron, you know that, he got some Republican sticks up his ass. Can I say that?
Oh, you done said it now. Anyway, fam, let me go. But you said you said a mouthful. I appreciate you. You told the truth, so don't worry about it. You gotta tell the truth, and
India ran a good campaign. She definitely. Just to close, she ran an excellent campaign. I'm so proud of her. So many of us are proud of her. So we definitely need more solidarity amongst us as black people. We need solidarity amongst the women for each other. I've seen a lot of black women on social media just dogging her, thinking it was making funny jokes when she out here fighting for us. And I've seen so many black men that was just totally, completely uninvolved.
So the black men done tapped out and wasn't showing up, and what you saying? That's what you saying. The black men don't show up, and the black women try to do Real Housewives of Atlanta for politics. So it sounds to me like, from what you're saying, I'm not saying anything about the race. It just might just y'all that sounds like what you're saying. Sounds like didn't nobody show up right. Black men just abdicated their responsibility, and black women tried to Real Housewives her outfits. This is all a problem. It's all a problem.
Yeah, it wasn't enough, but it wasn't enough. We had a lot of. She got 30,000 people to vote for her, but we needed that extra 11 that Byron had. That came from South Buffalo. That came from white Republican money. That came from cops. That came from all the people that got jobs from him and wanted to see change. But if we would have had all these blacks, young blacks, 20s and 30s voting, she would have won that.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling in. You have a good night. Well, I don't know a lot about that race. I remember seeing her, and I saw her in a bunch of different places. she was a fan of the left or whatever. I mean, not she was a fan, but they were a fan of her. I saw write-ups about her. But this is the first I've heard from somebody there about her. So please, y'all gonna have to educate me about that. But I want to thank everybody for calling in. Listen, that is it for now. I'm 16 minutes early, so don't y'all mess with me. We ended 16 minutes earlier than usual. Like 2 hours, hour and 44. So thank everybody that called in. I appreciate y'all. I'm not going to get to the rest of the callers. Love y'all, all that good stuff. But woo, we done had a 5 show already, so I got to go. So, and I promise, I like to keep my word. I promise. So I just want to thank everybody that did call in. And I just want to, at the end of the show, just kind of make the case at the midnight hour, what I call the witching hour. Good evening. I just want to tell everybody to finish your libation, whatever it was. Get that there and get in bed. But I think we have to find a way. We have to absolutely find a way to get on the same page with each other, but also decide what is solidarity as we interact with other groups. What does that look like? And I think when we do that, we can take on the party that we built. It's not saying you can't do something else. You want to vote for Republican dog catcher. You don't know your neighborhood better than I do. Child, do what you got to do. But I'm talking about this top of the ticket. See, everybody wants to, like, I hear morons, and I'll say it. I don't care what you think. Say, we just all got to vote Republican. The problem, or we all got to stay home. The problem with that is, first of all, you got to be engaged with politics. The second problem is, if y'all can't move enough Negroes away from the top of the ticket, how y'all gonna think y'all gonna move them away from the whole party? How that work? That's the problem when you don't ever try to do anything. You just sit home and talk and watch YouTube. That's the problem. So these are things that we have to figure out. And if you want to be a part of it, you can join the ADOS Advocacy Foundation and be a part of what you need to be a part of. That's just what I'm saying. That's just what it is. But we out of here. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It costs you no money to hit that like. Costs you no money to hit that bell. If you want to donate brown.com or $Breaking all that good stuff. You can also go to subscribe to Brown, subscribe.tobrown.com to add yourself to my mailing list. Do that as well. That costs you no money either unless you want to do the newsletter, which is $2 a month, whatever. But you can hit that like, hit that bell, do all that good stuff, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, fam, please do all of that good stuff. But most of all, just get yourself into bed. You've been up too late anyway. It's time for you to go to bed. You got to go to work tomorrow. Hopefully you have a work to go to and all that good stuff. And I will see you next time. But please give some serious thought. And as elections come up, as we talk about having a political culture, as we have elections, please, what is with the way I talk? Please, can you please just make sure you, as we develop political culture, just read up on that election that just happened and develop some thoughts about it and call in and we'll talk about it. Because part of what we're doing here is developing political culture. That's what we have to do. People have all kinds of cultures, hip hop culture, all kinds of stuff, but we don't have political culture, and that's the thing that determines resources. So please make sure you do that. And fam, until next time, keep it easy breezy. Wear your mask. Don't let nobody bother you, and don't bother nobody, and finish your libation. And we'll talk again next time, fam.